All right, guys, here we go. We are jumping into another thing about equations, okay? Um, Inverse operations. Let's have a quick review. What was an inverse operation? What's the opposite of adding? Okay, so what's the opposite of subtracting 5? Adding 5. What's the opposite of multiplying by 5? Dividing by 5, okay? So we know what inverse operations are. We know about two-step equations. We know about all that other stuff, okay? So today what we're going to do is we're going to solve with variables on both sides of the equation, okay? This is probably going to take about, I don't know, close to 30 minutes, okay? Because there is a lot to this, but it's not, I see people rolling their eyes, okay? It's not overly complex. Remember, this is, you don't have math every day, so it's going to be a little bit longer. That's just the way it is, okay? All right, two-step equations. Do me a favor. Write down that first one. 5x plus 5 equals 45. 5x plus 5 equals 45. Let's write that down. Let's do a quick review. All right. So we've got 5x plus 5 equals 45. Now, what letter am I solving for? X. Now, here's what I told somebody earlier. Somebody was like, man, I still don't understand it. Okay, if my letter is on the left-hand side, that's the side I'm going to do all the work with. Okay, I'm going to do all the work on the left-hand side because my ultimate goal is to get x equals. Yes? In other words, nothing else with it. So I want to do all the work to remove these numbers, and I'm calling this side over here the dump. In other words, that's where I'm going to take everything. Everything is going to go the other side away from the letter. Does that make sense? If you think about it, if I ask you to, somebody read this to me, x equals, just give me a number. 14, perfect. Somebody, I want you, instead of just looking at it like, okay, x equals 14, I want you to look at it closely. What do we have on the left side? X. What do we have on the right side? They are separated. Would you agree? Today, what we're going to focus on is trying to get the variables on one side and getting the constant. You guys remember what a constant is? Okay, trying to get the constant on the other side. Okay, so we're going to do that, but that's what solving equations are. You have a letter on this side, you have a constant on this side. They can't be on the same side because if you have equals x5, that doesn't make any kind of sense. But if you have x equals 5, that does make sense. They have to be separated by the equal sign. Does that make sense? Okay, so stick with me on this. If this is the dump, what do I do first, guys? Subtract 5. Good. So minus 5 on both sides. So what's 45 minus 5? So I got 5x equals 40. And then I'm going to divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals what? X equals 8. Perfect. Okay. Why did I divide here? Because it's the opposite of multiplication. Perfect. Okay. Because we're doing the inverse operation, right? Inverse operation. All right, let's do the second one. We're not going to do all 4 of these, by the way. For those of you who like to text, we're not going to do all of them. BTW. That means, by the way, in text. LOL. All right. That means laugh out loud. Okay. All right. So what do we got? Not yet. Not yet. And a lot of people did this today. What's the first thing I have to do? Get the 3 out of the way. Remember, we're doing backwards PEMDAS, so we're going to do the adding subtracting first. So we're going to move this 3. Negative 3 becomes a what? Positive 3. So I'm going to go x over 6 equals negative 8. And I don't mind you being wrong. Thank you for trying. I appreciate it. Okay. So now, what's the opposite of dividing by 6? Multiplying by 6. So what's 6 times 8? X equals, there it is separated. X equals negative 48. Don't forget your signs. A lot of people today, I'm kind of going really quick. A lot of people today are forgetting how to do these problems, and I don't understand it. Okay, remember, you got to move that number first before you can multiply or divide. Everybody good? We got to move the number first before we can start doing it. Okay? Clear? Cool, let's move on. All right, so today what we're going to do, explore and share. Some friends want to go see a movie that is showing at 2 different movie theaters in town. They plan to share 3 tubs of popcorn. Okay, which first of all, yuck. Okay. Now, movie theater popcorn just hits different. I get that with all the butter. I like the movie theaters that like you can put your own butter. Anybody ever go to those? How many of you just load it up with butter to the point where it's soggy? Please tell me you don't do it to where it's soggy. No? Okay, good. Do you guys share popcorn with your friends? Like they're like popcorn. They're like, and then reach in it again. Yeah, that's gross. Okay. So if she licks her fingers and sticks it back in there, it's cool. Ew. Maybe I should get these little like containers and dump your own popcorn so you can share it that way. Just saying. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I digress. All right, justifying. You have movie theater A, $14.50, popcorn $5.75, and then you got movie theater B, $13, but the popcorn's more expensive. Which movie theater is a better deal? What information do you not have that you probably need to know? Well, we know the prices of, but what's going to determine the total price? Okay, what about the ticket price? What's missing? Not taxes. Say that louder. How many people are actually going to go? It says a group of friends. So I'm not a big fan of these questions because it didn't tell you how many friends were going to go. Because if it's only 2 friends, who really cares? But if you have 10 friends going, that's going to make a big difference. Okay? If you have 3 friends, why would 3 friends share 3 tubs of popcorn? I don't get that. Okay. So I don't really like this question. Yeah, we're moving on. All right, here we go. Here's what we're doing today. Here's our goal. Here's our I can statement. You are going to be able to write and solve an equation with a variable on both sides to solve problems. Now, the problems that you're going to solve today, it's going to seem like a lot. It is going to seem like a whole lot of work. It's not, okay? I am not going to give you some math ninja voodoo stuff that like you have to learn some new material. We're not to that point. We don't have to do anything new today, okay? It's just kind of moving stuff around. But there is where you have a variable, you have an x on the right, you have an x on the left, and then we go from there, okay? We're going to talk about identity, and here we go, the TEKS. This is the same one we had the other day. Solve linear equations in one variable, including those for which the application of the distributed property is necessary. So we are going to distribute today, and we're also going to have variables on both sides. Okay, everybody good? So we're still covering stuff that the state of Texas tells us that we need to cover, okay? Moving on, here we go. Do me a favor. Write down variables on both sides, and I'm going to tell you what the steps are. Here we go. Step number 1, and I'm going to give you the short version. Distribute. There's step 1. We are going to use the distributed property to get rid of any parentheses before we ever get started. Okay, I call this distributed property like the parentheses. I call that like a force field. Okay, I want to get rid of that. We want to get rid of the parentheses. Okay, so that we can use those numbers. Look out for parentheses. Step number 2. After you do that, we are going to combine like terms. Step 2, combine like terms. Now, step 3 and step 4 are going to be a little bit different, okay? So let me talk about this. If I ask you to solve a problem, let's say A, I'm going to give you 2 different options, A and B. Tell me which one you like better. Yesterday I said, tell me which one you like better, and somebody said A before I even wrote anything down. That's weird. Okay, you got to know what the options are. 2x plus 6 equals 12, or 12 equals 6 plus 2x. Which option do you like better? Everybody seems to like A, right? You like the variables to be on the left-hand side, correct? Now, I know the instructions, the steps that I'm about to give you are going to be worded a little bit different, but I want you to, we like this one, yes? Why do you like that one? It's easier to look at. The variable is on which side? The left side. So when I tell you these instructions, don't be thrown off by this, okay? So we're still doing variables on the left-hand side, okay? So here we go. Step 3, you don't have to write this whole thing. Okay, let me explain to you what to write. It says move the variables to one side of the equal sign. So we're going to put the variables, anything that has a variable, on one side. So which side did you just say that you like the variables to be on? Left. So here's what I would put. Instead of saying all that, I'm just going to say letters left. We're going to put the variables or the letters on the left-hand side. Letters left, LL. Letters left or variables left, however you want to say it. You can say move the variables to one side of the equal sign. If you want them to be on the right side, keep them on the right side. It doesn't matter. Whatever side works best for you. Okay, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Fair? No right or wrong way to do it. Now, If the variables are on the left, where do you think you're going to put the constants? Okay, let's read step 4. Add and subtract the constants to the other side of the equal sign. So if you put the variables, it goes back to the x equals 14 that we were talking about. If x equals 14, x 14 separated by the equal sign, you got to have them separate, right? So if the variables are on this side, the constants have to be on this side. I see people nodding. You're catching that, right? So we can't put them on the same side. So if the variables are on the left, the constants need to go to the right. If you want to put the variables on the right, the constants have to go to the left. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but if we're going to go letters left, I want to go numbers or constants. Numbers to the right. Letters left, numbers right. And then step 5 is just simply solve. Just solve. Just solve the problem. Divide or multiply, depending on which one you want. Cool? Is everybody okay? Clear as mud? Okay, good. All right, write down this problem. Let me get rid of the ink really quick. Negative. Now, this one doesn't have variables on both sides, but we do have distributed property. Yes? If you have a negative on the front of a parentheses, anybody know what that does? If you have a negative on the front, what does that do? No, it doesn't make everything negative. It does if it's positive. All it does is it changes your signs. So ultimately what you're doing is, if there's no number in the front, what's the number? You might know? There's a 1 there. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to distribute -1, which doesn't change the numbers at all. What's 5 times 1? 5. The number didn't change because we multiplied times 1. Okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute. This 7 is now going to be a what? -7. This 4x is now going to be a what, guys? Positive 4x, because all I did was I distributed negative times a negative and made it a positive. This was a positive and it became a negative, right? Equals 9, correct? Do me a favor, with your neighbor, solve that problem. Go. I'm going to pause it. And we're back. Okay. We had a small commercial break. All right. So what do we got? What do I do? Well, first of all, what letter am I solving for? I'm solving for x. So if I highlight it, what? I just crossed it off. Okay. That's not a good idea. No, that's not a good idea either. Okay. So we've got 4x, yes? So what do I do first, guys?
You add 7.
I'm going to add 7 to both sides. What's 9 plus 7? So I've got 16. Now what do I do? Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals what? X equals 4. Okay. Everybody semi-good with that? All right, here we go. Let's jump into some stuff with some variables on both sides. Okay, write this equation down. Get rid of the ink. There we go. Variables on both sides of the equation. I'm going to give you guys a second to write that down. While you guys are writing that down, I'm going to tell you a story. Last night I was walking down the street and the guy threw a piece of cheese at me and hit me right in the face. That ever happened to anybody? I was like, man, how dare he? Okay, sorry. It's a little dad joke. You can use that. That's a good one. Okay, how dare he? Cheese? Okay, no, okay. So stupid. Okay, I just wanted to give you a second to write that down. All right, going on. Step 1. What is step 1? Distribute. We're going to distribute first. Do I have anything that has distributed property? Sure do. It can be on both sides. It can be on one side, or you might not have it. But this one we do. What's 6 times 1, guys? 6. What is 6 times 3k? 18 what? 18k. Yeah, 18k. And I'm just going to bring this side down. Negative 18 minus 6k. There was nothing to do over here, so I'm just going to bring it down. Everybody good? All right. Now step 2 is combine like terms. Look at the left side. Is there anything I can do over here? No. Is there anything I can do over here? Can I do 6 plus 18k? Well, we're going to get to that point, but can I do anything with 6 plus 18k? No, they're not like terms. Okay, so now, okay, everybody focus for me because this is where it's going to be a little cray-cray. Okay, so now we're going to start moving stuff around. Okay, I see a lot of, everybody's looking. That's good. I want to make sure we're focused. We are going to start going to step 3. Go to step 3. What does step 3 say? Move the variables on the left-hand side. So here we go. Highlighter. Which ones have the variables? So I have this one and I have this one. Yes? I want them both to be on which side? The left side. Okay? So I'm going to go left side with both of them. I'm going to do it like this. You don't have to do the line, but I like it because it helps me to separate it, okay? Negative 6k, is it okay here? Is it on the left side? So don't change it. Don't change it. If it's already good, just leave it alone. Which one needs to move? When I move it, what's it become? Negative 18k. Basically, what I just did was this problem right here, guys. Hold on. X plus 3 equals 8, right? Well, how do I get rid of negative 3 or positive 3? I subtract 3 from both sides, right? That's kind of what I just did. I just did the arrows instead. I just moved it from one side to the other. What's the opposite of 18k? Negative 18k. Basically, what I just did was I subtracted 18k from both sides. Did everybody catch that? I see a lot of nodding. Everybody's okay? I don't want to confuse anybody. Anybody confuzzled? Okay, all right, here we go. So the letters are okay. Now, let's move to the numbers. Here's a number, here's a constant, and here's a constant. Which one do you want to do first? It does not matter. Pick one. 6. Is the 6 okay? The 6 is okay, so I'm just going to leave it right there. 6. We're done with that. Boom. Now, what was the other one? Negative 18. So what's it become? Positive 18. Okay? So we've got positive 18. So now I've got negative 6k and I've got negative 18k. So now we can do the math. Now we can combine oh, by the way, the reason I like drawing the arrows, let me back up just a little bit. The reason I like drawing the arrows is because as soon as I cross this line, what is that line? What's it go through? The equal sign. As soon as I cross that sign, the signs change. The signs change. Okay. Yesterday I was helping one of my stepdaughter's friends. She is doing the same thing. She's doing Algebra 1 down at Harpole. Okay. And she wanted to change the sign, but she didn't cross the equal sign. She was just combining like terms, but she wanted to change the signs. Okay. Not correct. If it's on the same side, don't change the signs. You just do the math that you already have. Does that make sense? But if you cross over, now it changes. Does everybody see the difference on that? Okay. All right, here we go. What's negative 6 minus 18? Negative 20 what? Negative 24k. Okay. This right here has made me want to sing Bruno Mars all day long. 24k. 24 karat magic in me. Okay. All right. Now let's do the other side. What's 6 plus 18? 24. Now we just do the math. What letter am I solving for, guys? Okay. So there it is. So now let's do the math. I'm going to divide by negative 24. What's 24 divided by 24? 1, but the signs are different, so it's going to be negative 1. Okay, let me stop. That's a lot. That's a lot of information. Yes? That is a whole lot of information. Okay, now, there we go. I want to make sure you were listening to me. Was that a lot? Yes. Did I do anything that was like overly complex? No. I did? What was overly complex? And please tell me. Where did you did anybody get lost anywhere in here? This is your time to tell me, Coach Moy, you lost me at this. Anybody? Everybody's good? 1 to 5, how do you feel on this? See some 5s, I see some 1s. Hey, that's fine, I can see some 1s. Okay. Are we okay? Let's go step by step. Right there, distributing only. 1 to 5. How are we on this step right here? Where all we did was distribute. That's all we did. Okay? Numbers are a little bit better. Okay? Now, Switching it over, 1 to 5. Show me where you're at on that one. Okay? We're going to do another one. We'll do another problem. Fair? And then we'll work it out. I do not expect you to have it mastered, but please listen to me on this. This is what I've been telling all my classes. I'm 48 years old and I do Algebra 1 for a living. Okay? When I'm working through these problems, I still write them down step by step so that what? Why would I do that? Why would I write it down step by step if I know what the heck I'm doing? Double check and so I don't get lost. Okay? You are just now getting started in this, so don't be scared to write down the problems. Okay? Don't be scared to write step by step because it will help keep you organized. Everybody understand that? All right, let's go to the second one. Let's go to this one. We got 2 more examples and then we're done. Okay? 2 more. Okay? Dos mas for you Italians in here. Okay? All right, here we go. If you are confused, by the way, there's that BTW, by the way. Okay? If you are confused, stop and say, Coach Moore, you lost me right there. That way I can help you. Okay? Because if you have a question, what do you think? Somebody else probably has the same question. Fair? If you have a question, somebody else is probably thinking the same thing. So let me help you. Help me help you. What movie? Jerry Maguire. Okay. Jerry Maguire, help me help you. Okay. All right. Is there any distributed property on this one? No? No distributed property? Now what? After distributed property, there's nothing there. Look at step 2 on those steps I told you to do. What's step 2? Combine like terms, okay? So let's find the like term. I'm focused only on this side. That's it for now. And then we will go over there in just a minute, okay? I'm only looking at the left side. Here's the thing. A lot of people see these problems and they see it like this is one massive, massive problem. Don't. Break it up into this side and then break it up into this side. It will make your life a whole lot easier. Break it up into sections. Does that make sense? Simplify the section and then simplify the section and then start working stuff across. That will help you out quite a bit, okay? So here we go. Left side, where are my like terms, please? I have 4x and negative 6x. Yes? I see a lot of nodding. Good, good. What is 4 minus 6, guys? Negative 2 what? X. There we go. So those are gone. What's the only thing left on that side? Positive 7. Okay, now we're cooking. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. What are my like terms? Positive 5 and positive 4. Now, do you want to bring down the letter first or do you want to do the 5 plus 4 first? It does not matter. Up to you. Somebody, what do you want to do first? Letters or the numbers? Cool. She said letters, so we're going to bring down the negative 4x first. I'm the same way. I like the letter to go first. I like the variable to be first. What's 5 plus 4? Positive 9. Guess what? We have combined like terms. Everybody good? I like this one because one side has a variable for like terms, the other one has a constant for like terms. Is everybody okay? Now, what's step 3 and step? Look at your steps. What's step 3 and step 4? What's step 3? Right, or letters left. What's step 4? Numbers right. Okay, letters left, numbers right. Okay, so let's go through it. Fair? I'm not going to highlight this time. Okay, does this have a letter? So can that stay on this side? Yes, negative 2x. We're done. Just keep it on that side. Okay. Now, some people have done it like this where they like stack them under the other letter. I like to put them out side by side. That's just me. If you want to stack them and do it that way, you guys know what I'm talking about with stack them? Okay. It's like this. Let me show you what stack them is. So we got negative 2x here. What they try to do is find the ones that need to move. So this 4x needs to go over here, and they go plus 4x here, and they do the math like that. If you want to do it like that, you can. Make sense? And then they take the 7 to this side and make it negative 7 under that. And we just move the two numbers that are needed to move. If you want to do it that way, do it. But what's on this side? Just the letters, right? Yes? And what's on this side? 9 minus 7. So what is negative 2 plus 4? 2 what? X. Good. What's 9 minus 7? 2. Let me stop. I just talked through that really, really fast. Is everybody okay? Nope. I see some no's. That's fine. Okay. How many of you are just a little bit lost on what I did? Okay. Several hands just went up. Good. That'll tell me to slow down for a second. So let's back up a little bit. Can I leave this right here? I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to rewrite all of that. I'm going to rewrite. You know what? I'm going to erase it. So I've got negative 2x plus 7, and I've got negative 4x plus 9. Yes? And I'm going to leave my line. What is it? Letters. What side? Work with me. You guys have stuck your hands up. You're fine. Okay? Nobody's embarrassed. Nobody's laughing. Okay? You're good. This is why we back up. Not a big deal. Letters go on which side, guys? Left. So this one, does that one have a letter? I'm going to leave it on the left side. Don't change the side. Which one's the other one with the letter? Negative 4x. I need to move this to which side? The left. Positive 4x. Is everybody okay with that? I see some nodding. It's starting to click a little bit like, okay, that kind of makes sense. If you like it this way, that's fine. Now, I'm going to cross them off because I took care of those. Now we'll do the numbers only, or the constants, okay? The 9 is okay. The 9 is all right. What's left? What have I not crossed off? 7. I need to move it to that side, don't I? Because it's just a number or just a constant. So when I move it, positive 7 becomes a what? Boom. Everybody's all right? Yes? Nod. Okay. At least act like you're listening. Nod. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah. Okay. What's negative 2 plus 4? Calculator. 2x. What's 9 minus 7? It's the same thing that we just had just a minute ago. Okay. Did that help explaining it like that? I see a lot of nodding. Okay, we're good. Okay, so we're going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals what, guys? 1. We're done. All right. Now, show me 1 to 5 where we stand. Hopefully we're a little bit higher. Hopefully we're 1s and 2s. Okay, good. Numbers are going up. I like it when numbers are getting a little bit higher. Okay. Now, repeat after me. I. Repeat after me. I. State your name. State your name. Will not freak out when I see the next problem. All right, here we go. You said it. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. So let's no. You said you wouldn't freak out just because it has a stupid fraction in it. First of all, does your calculator do fractions? Then why do people freak out? It's the same rules. Yes? If your calculator does fraction, alpha y equals in 1 on your TI-84, okay? Alpha y equals in 1 or alpha y equals enter, okay? It'll do fractions. But here in a second, I'm going to show you how to do them in your head. Like, wait a minute, what? Okay? You can do this in your head, by the way. It's not that hard. First of all, I'm going to show you a little thing. You guys see the 7 on the front? It's kind of in the way, isn't it? I'm just going to go ahead and move it to the other side. I can do that. I can absolutely do that. Watch this. You guys see this positive? See how like you have this 7 and then it goes distributed property? I'm going to get rid of this. What's the opposite of positive 7? So I'm going to put this negative 7 over here. That might confuse you, but I just want to get it out of the way. You can do that, by the way. You can do that. Okay? So here we go. That is now gone. And what's 32 minus 7? 25. Everybody okay? All right. I can do that. That's allowed. That is okay. Everything's fine with that. Now, the problem looks a little bit easier, doesn't it? Okay, you ready for the math stuff that we like? How do you do fractions in your head? Okay, here's how you multiply fractions, okay? Now, if you want to use your calculator, please go ahead and just use your calculator. It doesn't bother me, okay? I could show you how to get rid of the fraction, but then that makes the numbers bigger, okay? So I'm just going to show you how to use it, okay? You ready for this? It's not complex. First of all, there's a negative on the front, so don't get rid of the negative. Let's distribute. We're going to distribute this times this. Everybody good? What is 5 times 8? Is everybody with me? Okay, I'm going to stop. What's 5 times 8? 40. The bottom number is a 2, so what's 40 divided by 2? Negative 20r. We just did that in our heads. You multiply the top numbers, and then whatever the bottom number is of the fraction, that's what you divide by. Because didn't I tell you that a fraction is division? Yes. Okay. So we took care of that one. Now let's do the 6. What is negative 5 times negative 6? What's 5 times 6? 30. What's half of 30? Positive 15. Guess what? We distributed with the fraction. It's okay. Because we multiplied 5 times 6, we distributed. We went that, and then we went over here to that. Just like if we did this, guys. If it was just negative 5 times 8r minus 6, wouldn't it be here and then here? Wouldn't that what it would be? But the only difference is instead of having that, we just have to divide by 2 after we're done. Don't let fractions mess with you, okay? I know fractions are confusing. Like 7 out of 5 people don't understand how fractions work anyway, okay? So don't be one of the 7 out of 5. More math humor. For those of you that didn't catch that, that's a joke. Okay. You can't have 7 out of 5. Okay. All right, moving on. Plus 2r equals 20. Yeah, rough crowd. Okay, good. So you can't, we just dropped down the 2r. Yes? Hey, I know we're almost done. Guys, this is the last example we have. We are almost finished, okay? So stay focused with me. I'm going to give you a small break here in just a minute, okay? Everybody good? Stick with me. Stick with me. Stick with me. Now, we took care of step 1, distributed property. What is step 2? Combine like terms. Are there like terms on the left-hand side? What are they? So we got this. I'm going to put a star. And 2. What is negative 20 plus 2? Negative 18 what? R. And then I'm going to bring everything else down. Plus 15 equals 25. Correct? What is it now? Everybody look right here. What is this? Nope. 2-step equation. Go ahead and solve it. Go. This is what we warmed up with. This is what we warmed up with. Hey. We already this year, we've gone from this to this. We started from the bottom. Now we're here. Drake. Okay. Rough crowd. Okay, good. Nobody likes song lyrics. That's cool. Started from the bottom. Now the whole team's here. Everybody good? What's my first step? Subtract the 15. It's going to be a decimal. It's going to be a decimal. So don't be throwing, well, I got a decimal. It's a decimal. Okay. Again, you are now in high school. Don't be scared of fractions and don't be scared of decimals, guys. They're going to be like part of everyday life. Okay. You might as well just accept it. Okay. Everybody good? All right. So here we go. Subtract 15. Subtract 15. So now I've got negative 18r equals 10, correct? And then divide by what? Nope. Negative 18. Thank you. Divide by negative 18. R equals negative 0.5 repeating. Is that what you got? Okay. 1 to 5, how do we feel? How do you feel about variables on both sides? Okay. Do I expect you to have it mastered right now because you had 3 examples? Somebody say no. Yep, there we go. No, I do not expect you to have it mastered after 3 examples. I want you to have a basic understanding of it, and we're going to practice it here in a minute, okay? Everybody good? Be willing to be wrong and be willing to make mistakes, okay? I'm going to shut this off, okay? Here in a second, I'm going to give you guys a break. If you're watching, okay, click like, subscribe, share it with your friends, put it on your socials, all that good stuff. Okay, everybody good? So go ahead and take a break, okay? Go.